Welcome to today's deep dive. It's funny how we often treat time like it's some sort of magic wand. Like
Yeah.
if you leave a messy room alone long enough, it'll just somehow sort itself out and get organized.
Right. Yeah, the classic, it gets better with time fallacy. We apply it to everything, especially ourselves and our relationships.
We totally
For
do.
sure.
We just assume time's going to do the heavy lifting for us. But today, we're looking at a faith-based text simply titled Day 4, and it completely shatters that illusion. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is to explore the actual mechanics of personal and relational growth laid out in this source.
Yeah, and the central theme here is pretty blunt, honestly. Great relationships absolutely do not happen by accident. They are built by people who, just never stop growing.
Which makes sense, right? But to really get at the mechanics of this, we have to look at what the text actually says about time itself.
Right. The author makes this very deliberate distinction here. Time alone does not produce maturity, at all. Time is actually just a revealer.
A reveal it.
Yeah, it only exposes whether we have actively chosen to learn or change, and in the specific context of this Christian text, become more like Christ.
I get the concept, but push back with me for a second. Wait, so the cultural idea that time just naturally improves things is completely rejected here. I mean, we all know couples who've been together for 40 years who didn't actively, work on themselves. They just stayed together. Doesn't time alone count for something in forging loyalty?
Well, I mean, it counts for shared history, sure, but merely surviving together isn't the same as thriving. What's fascinating here is the analogy the text uses to replace that passive idea of time. It compares human growth to a tree.
Oh, trios.
Yeah, because a tree doesn't just suddenly become this massive, strong oak overnight just because a certain number of years pass. Its roots deepen and the trunk thickens through really slow, almost invisible nutrient absorption.
Right.
And if the tree is starved of nutrients, well, time just reveals its decay.
Ah, so those daily changes are essentially invisible. You can't pull up a chair and watch a tree grow in real time, but eventually that steady, relentless growth or decay becomes impossible to ignore.
Exactly.
It's like compounding interest, but for your character.
That is a great way to look at it. The text argues that our spiritual and emotional lives operate on that exact same principle of slow, compounding growth.
Okay, I love the tree analogy, but practically speaking, I can't just stand in my yard and photosynthesize. What actually acts as the water and sunlight for human character?
The text points specifically to the mundane, seemingly insignificant decisions we make every single day.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Mm.
It's not about grand dramatic gestures like booking a surprise vacation. It's about the heat of the moment. It's choosing to delete that passive-aggressive text draft and opting for humility.
Right. Yeah.
Or taking a deep breath and choosing patience over snapping when you're completely exhausted. But how does the source suggest we actually pull that off when our instincts are screaming the exact opposite?
By entirely shifting the goalpost. The text fundamentally redefines what makes a successful partnership. It argues that the strongest couples aren't the ones who naturally have perfect reactions or, never make mistakes. They just have a completely different relationship with failure.
Oh, wow. So the goal isn't to never fight. It's to get really, really good at the repair process.
Precisely. The mechanism of a strong relationship isn't perfection, it's persistent repair. The strongest couples are simply the ones who never stop learning, apologizing, and forgiving. The health of the relationship is tied to that active, daily commitment.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? We've got this tree analogy, these daily micro decisions. How does the source material suggest you actually apply this theory today?
Well, it grounds all of this in a very practical, immediate action step. It challenges the reader to take just one small step today.
Like what?
That could be reading a chapter of the Bible, finally apologizing to someone you know you've hurt, or even just swapping out 30 minutes of doom scrolling with listening to an educational podcast. Because those tiny steps, taken consistently, form the foundation of tomorrow's relationships.
It's about refusing to be comfortable staying exactly as you are. Which brings us right back to where we started, that messy room and that magic wand we wish time could be. Time is going to pass regardless. But if time only reveals our character, rather than fixing our flaws, it makes you wonder, what is time going to reveal about the invisible relational choices you are making today?